All right. At the beginning of the last session, Riv and Ardrith were wandering around the Undervale as they had been for the past 50 years, and a portal appeared before them, and out came Tabor, Haon, Catawan. Catawan was with them, right?
Yeah.
Faith, and what's the name of our Air Genasi?
Din.
Okay. So, Crib and Ardrith are just absolutely stunned. They have no idea what's going on or how they got there. And they're just like, we're all old, and, everybody else is so young. And it's been 50 years for Crib and I, where it's been, a few months to a few years for you guys. So, Crib chose to take us through the nose of this skull-shaped mountain. And we ended up in the Tomb of Horrors. So far, we have made it through the first few sets of traps. We have passed the Demon Face and the Spear of Annihilation. We have made it through the Misty Vapors. We have made it through the Chapel of Death. And we are now well on our way to potentially facing Acidarax. I locked up there. I apologize. So now we're well on our way to potentially facing Acidarax.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll go ahead and the last thing that you saw as you were in this corridor, and there was this dead end, and it turned into this like rotating floor that went into a fire pit, and Faith saved Haon's life, and then Kriv got lost in the dark, and then a bunch of people got lost in the dark, and then Kabur found this hole in the floor that leads down into like another stairwell. And that's where you're at right now.
So this green rectangle here is a pit. That's a hole in the ground, right?
Yeah, and Kabur went down in it, and he was able to say, "Hey guys, there's a space here leading into like another corridor."
Another portal.
A corridor.
Oh, corridor.
Yeah.
Down this green hole?
Yeah, I'll make it so everybody can see where he's at. There you go.
Oh, God.
And it's dark down there.
And he relayed to us what he could see.
Ardrith is finally going to pull out a torch. And, hey, Faith, you think you could give me some light?
Well, I could, but then the other one will go out, so...
Okay, I'll just light this myself.
Yeah.
Then.
I'll cast light. I can cast light too. I cast light on Ardrith's torch.
All right, Ardrith, you have a torch.
Catawan follows Kabur down into the hole.
All right, I'll move you down there. Oh, that's Din. Sorry. Where's Catawan? Oh, there he is.
Oh, God.
All right, what do you guys do? I'll describe. So Catawan and Kabur, when you go down to this hole, this thing is about 30 feet deep, and you push this door in, and there's the door. It's just laying down at the bottom of the hole back here, okay? And then there's this partition with just a blank space, and you go through it, and then it comes up into this it's probably 20 feet high and 10 feet wide, 10 feet by 10 feet. And it's the top of some stairs. And then the stairs go down onto a platform, and then you've got stone walls and ceiling, and the air is really musty. Like no one's been here for a very, very long time.
All right. Well, Ardrith very carefully follows Eber and the
Sorry,
rest of the crew.
I'm eating half a loaf of cheesy bread. I also follow them.
All right, I'll put
How's it
Ardrith
going down there? Any
and
dying?
Faith.
I don't hear any screams.
I scream, but in the fun way. So I'm just like, ah!
My
Ah!
God.
With Ardrith's torchlight, like peer around the corner, what do I see?
You like slightly peer around the corner, and you can make a perception check. And then you see a stairs going down into a hallway, into the darkness, and a door on the left side at the end of the hallway.
I got a nat 20 for 32 on a perception check.
Nice. Yeah, you see stairs descending down to the west, and the corridor extends past this bottom steps. It's slightly cloudy. It's almost like there's a mist, like a cloud down here, just like sitting down in the air down at the bottom of these stairs.
Could I tell whether or not it'd be poisonous just by looking at it? Does it like have any sickly hue to it?
It definitely has a sickly hue to it.
I'm gonna turn back to Faith. Like, you think you could like kick up a breeze or something with those? And I kind of point at her wings.
I come over here and I flappy flap in the general direction he's pointing.
And then while she's doing that, I'd like to stand in the way from the torch so that the wind doesn't knock out the torch light.
I think probably what would happen is if you flap your wings, you manage to vortex it, right? But the problem is there's nowhere for this stuff to go. So like it gathers back here in the back of the room. But
billows.
I just shrug at him like,
well. Catalan, you got some weather stuff, right? Can you do
I
anything
suggest
about
if
this?
anybody steps into this, they hold their breath. Somebody wants to check it out.
Caber, I could cast Gust of Wind, but I got a feeling it's just going to do the same thing that it did for Faith there with her wings. I think it's just going to put it all to the back of the room.
Hey, Din, you can hold your breath a long time, right?
Yeah, a pretty long time.
I think you should probably go first.
Does anybody have like a spell that would help me to be able to hold my breath? I'm the king, so I feel like I should be the one to kind of poke around and try to figure out this is or what's going on. I don't want to step into this crazy mist without like.
you're basically worried that it's poison, right?
Yes.
Or worse, yeah.
Something similar.
Or worse.
There's many curses that could be way worse than poison.
Can I go down in the hole?
Has anyone just tried setting it on fire? I mean, it's a gaseous thing.
I would like to
yeah,
join the whole rest of the team as well.
all right.
Oh God!
And then so
Ardrith
does-
exits the hole.
does
Ardrith
Diana.
exits the hole.
I have a lightning breath weapon. Would that light a combustible gas?
I would like to leave the hole.
I'm gonna say, do we even know if this is combustible? I was like, with my nat 20, I'm gonna lean on my nat 20 again. Do I know exactly what this fog is more than just condensed air?
Yeah, sure. You can tell that it is some sort of heavy gas that is able to adhere to the stale air in this corridor, and that there's enough volume of it that it sits on an entire layer in the air in the bottom half of it. So if this were breathed, it is meant to have some sort of ill effect when you breathe it. There is a corridor here, so trying to blow it around would just blow it around it's in a closed space. And in fact, if you blew it hard enough, it would probably just blow back towards you, right?
Right.
It's
Okay,
not
Ross.
combustible. It's not combustible.
Okay.
Would you consider this freestanding water?
It's air.
But
It's
it's
a gas.
mist. It's water.
I see what
right?
you mean. Yeah, sure. What's your intention? Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I want to use control water to, let's see, part water. You cause water in the area to move apart and create a trench. The trench extends across the spell's area, and the separated water forms a wall on either side. The trench remains until the spell ends, or you choose a different effect. The water then slowly fills in the trench over the course of the next round until the normal water level is restored.
I'll say that if you have do you all have water skins?
Yeah.
So
In
you
fact,
could,
I have extras.
if you dump out enough water, then you could do that to be able to collect all of it as it goes and then push it up against the wall and keep it there.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm good with that.
Before we do this, Catalan, and waste our spells, Den can hold his breath a while, so let's just have him scout ahead and see if this is a dead end before we even waste our time going this way.
Yes, I do enjoy danger.
Well, okay, so before we go sacrificing even someone as lowly as Din, I would like a token, because I'm going to activate the drift globe that I remembered I had at the end of the last session.
Faith has a
I don't
drift
see how
globe?
this stops me from getting sacrificed.
Correct. Well,
Yeah,
the
you
problem
just
is we
get
can't see through the
sacrificed.
mist, but what if we put light inside the mist? So I can, like, push it up to 60 feet from me. So, I mean, maybe we can... I mean, obviously, if there's a dead end, we'll see it where it hits the other wall, right? If it's within 60 feet, at least. Actually, the globe can be within 60 feet of me. And the light is, like, what? Within a 20-foot sphere of that? So, if a wall's within 80 feet of us, we'd know about it.
Alright, you have control of a sphere.
Woohoo! Now to grab my handy-dandy ruler. Okay, so I guess it doesn't like dead end right there. That's good to know. Okay, yeah, that's 60 feet. There we go. So I can definitely can I see this through the mist with the light on it?
Yeah.
Cool. So there's a door there, guys. Now we can sacrifice Din.
Well, I mean, hey, Den, I'm gonna pull my. Actually, no. Am I pretty confident that I can hold my breath long enough to get down to that doorway and then come back?
I believe in you.
I'm gonna say that it would take an athletics check, but using your constitution modifier. You're gonna hold your breath.
Okay. Well, my con is better than my strength anyway.
I
so-
give him inspiration.
Okay, what's that?
Like, just I have an
Oh,
inspiration.
just advantage. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then, oh wait, hold up. And I also bless him.
Ooh,
Yes.
okay. So what's the combination of bless and that? Bless is +4. Is that what it is?
Bless is a 1d4. Well, I don't know if that would actually work or not because it's saving throws or attack rolls.
No, yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
I don't care. Yeah, you
Let's
can do
see.
it. You'd
So
roll
you
a
get an extra
d4 and add it
1d4
to your
for that.
2d20 highest result plus 1d4.
Okay, while he is doing his roll really quick, join the server, but they don't have the option to join our
Yes,
video.
I was waiting. So morbid cupcake.
That's correct.
Okay.
Gotta reload. Roll 20. It's not letting me
Okay.
reload.
Now she's got it.
There we go. Okay, so I'm rolling a d20 plus my con mod.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I'm rolling that twice, and then I'm also rolling a d4. So I got a nat 20 again, so I got a 23 plus 2, so 25 total.
All right. So what's it look like when you do that?
Caber plugs, or he takes a deep breath and plugs his nose and runs down to the doorway, and then he's going to use his opposite hand to hold up his fist to the door, and I want to use my X-ray ring and see through the door.
Who's
to
doing
see
what? We're waiting on somebody.
What's beyond.
I will show you. I will use the drift globe to show you what's beyond the door. Okay. So you're gonna use your ring. You see. Why did that not work? Let me see here. Bright lights. This is weird. Why is this not working? Is that not? Is that showing up? No, it's not. Weird. Oh, because it needs vision. Here we go. Roll 20 stuff. It's great. Here we go. Bam! So, hello. So, that you see, I'll show you what you see inside. You see what would appear to be an ancient lich sitting atop a throne surrounded by treasure. And you see if I have anything else.
Does he seem to be like awake and sentient and moving around?
Yeah, and he's gonna do things, but I'm gonna show you the old school artwork as well.
But what you're saying is we should knock first.
And you see, I'll describe everything that you see. So this all happens in a moment, right? You do this really quick. There are spider webs everywhere on the other side of the door, like sticky spider webs everywhere.
There she be.
And then on the other side of that, lying on the floor at the bottom of the stairs, is an iron mace inlaid with silver. And then opposite that, inside of this room that's about 40 feet by 40 feet or so, you can see a rotting and decayed corpse-like figure on a rotted furnishing of some kind, surrounded by treasure. And let's see. It says it senses you, and it like shifts, and you can hear like the bones like, and it's like, "Who dares disturb the slumber of Acidarax? You have found your death."
Caber does not reply, and he's going to run back out of this fog.
All right.
Once I get to the top of the stairs, I don't think Caber says anything. I think he begins to cast a spell, and this spell has a 10-minute casting time.
Okay, who all is able to see that? Just Faith?
Just Caber.
Just Caber.
Just Caber?
Yeah, Caber runs down the stairs, uses his X-ray ring, looks through the doorway while holding his breath, runs back up the stairs. Out of breath, he's like panicked, and you see him like begin to do gestures and like start to muster a spell.
Can anybody else hear Jake?
Like Caber has been. Yeah, I can hear Jake.
Cannot hear Jake for some reason.
You might have
That's
to
not
leave
good.
and come back. Yeah, we can hear Jake, yeah.
Restart your Discord. Do I recognize what spell he's attempting to cast based on what he's doing to cast it?
Are you like sending me a message? Like, what, is this a secret or something?
It takes 10 minutes to cast, so I mean, not really, but I don't know if anyone would recognize the spell. But I am going to cast Legend Lore, which is the 5th level spell.
Okay. Faith, no, you would not recognize that. And then, yeah, Legend Lore. So, what does it look like for you to do that? Do you somehow like reach back? Is this a mechanism to be able to instantly access the college or something? Like, what does it look like to be able to do that?
I think what it looks like is I think he moves his hands fast enough to make it look like some type of book. Like he like makes a sigil, and then as he shapes his hands over it, it makes it look like he's like looking through a textbook. I imagine that's what it looks like, but it's like transparent textbook that there's nothing actually there. But it looks like he's like frantically looking through notes in a book that doesn't exist, and it takes 10 minutes to cast. So I imagine he's looking in this book for a while.
Okay. So you access all of this information about Acidarax, and I would say that you can make an extremely difficult insight check because something seems off to you. Because as you read through this, you do find information about this world and about the Tomb of Horrors. One of the things that you instantly realize as you access the lore from this book is that this is not on the same plane of existence. You are currently in the world of Worth. And the access into the fortress, that's sort of, like I said, like a planar moat, went from the Vale into like the Shadow Vale, where the Dolar Forest is, where the ghosts and everything were. And then from there you went into Orth, into the Tomb of Horrors. And that's where you are now. Like, this exists on another planet. And this is the world where Tasha came from. And Acidarax is a ancient, evil magic user who, over time, started finding ways to collect magic items by basically luring people into his own tomb. And like many magic users, as you all have learned, his journey ended in lichdom. Now, what his fate is, you don't know. There's no recording of that. Is there anything else that you would want to know?
If there is any illusion or like rumor of any type of weakness or theorized weakness. I think this would be like even something more broad in the sense of like what would we learn is like what's a good tactic against a lich, like because I don't like out of character I know all about liches, but I don't know what Caber knows about liches, and that was more Felsane's thing than anything. So
well, you have fought a lich and defeated it, and
was in the far back lines on that that fight.
But I think the salient thing here is that like a lich, so you know what Jake knows now, or Caber knows what Jake knows, and beyond that, you know that like the Tomb of Horrors, no one's sure what's in it. There's no recording of what's in the Tomb of Horrors, except that a lot of people have died going in there. Very few people have made it out, and the people that have spoken of tricks, and that the thing that would kill someone is their greed. But that everything is a trick. There's just constant trickery. And you can make an extremely difficult insight check if you, because something seems off.
How much of what he just... Let me rephrase that. Based on what he just found out from his spell, what more would Felsane have for information on liches, or even this specific lich?
Anything you want to know? What's your intention? Felsane sees everything that's going on right now.
Yes, but because like he said, that's a Felsane thing. Because books, yay! I would like to use one of my little interventions to edit the entry he's accessing if I have more information that would be helpful.
Particularly, do we know what Acidarax Phylactery is?
Is that something I might know, or could have insight into potential areas?
Yeah, so you only have 3 of these. So if you use one of them right now, I will say that what you would... So it's the effects of a wish spell. So what you would know is almost like several major key secrets of the tomb. You can communicate directly to... I think like he's flipping through this book, and then all of a sudden there's a page that like is out of place, but it's actually bound into the book, and it's written by Felsane, and it's like, hey, dumbass, like, hey,
yeah, it's like redacted, and then there's
rather than written, I feel like
pure
he comes up on that
Felsane.
page, and it starts writing, if that makes sense. Like I'm currently filling it in as he's going through it.
Yeah, so if that's what you want to do, then you will reveal several major secrets in the tomb. I'll say 3.
I do want to do that.
Okay.
Because this could go horribly otherwise, I feel.
So As you're reading this book, let me go back to Caber in a second. It's 10 minutes. Caber's like flipping through an invisible book. What is everybody else doing? And how are you react to Caber? He didn't say anything when he ran back. Just started flipping through an imaginary book.
I feel like Faith probably passes by him and just like takes up a defensive stance on the stairs, assuming something's chasing him.
Oh, okay.
And then also let's push the globe out a little farther. So yay!
Ardrith knows enough about Caber to know that he's got something going on and up his sleeve. So Ardrith is just kind of hanging back and relaxing and just still wary about somebody igniting the vapors filling the room. He's really hanging out near the entrance that we dropped down. So, like, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So,
he's old, but he's not stupid.
Caber, as you're flipping through this book, all of a sudden one of the pages starts writing, and it's just bluntly like, I don't know. Tell me what you would say to get Caber's attention. Like, what would Philsane say, Sean?
Oh, geez. I have no idea. Like, I don't feel like she'd make a specific thing to get his attention. I feel like she'd just keep adding information and figure he's reading through the whole thing and gonna catch on.
Okay. Well, I thought it was
Like,
funnier if she's like,
Hey, Squirrel Boy.
Yes, exactly, something to that extent. But
Yeah, but she was never mean to Caber. I guess. I mean, it would be
Hey,
probably something nice.
buddy,
Honestly, it'd be
yeah,
like,
that's true.
hey, like she'd probably pen it like a letter, like to my favorite bard.
Nice.
Just go from there.
All right. Yeah. So, and then what you reveal is like, hey, listen, Caber, you are in the Tomb of Horrors right now. This whole thing is a ruse. This whole thing is meant to wear you people down, if not, hopefully, just kill you. And you need to not focus on this. You probably should have used the candle, you bunch of dummies. But it's too late now because you're already on another plane of existence, and you need to try to find your way out anyway. So here I'm using my powers from my cauldron from Prismere, and I can tell you that there's a door right here, and that Acidarax is false and it's a trick, and that there's tricks all in this place. You need to be careful. And I'll move this door, and because once you check it, you'll find that to be the case, that there's this other hallway. And then he will say, let me see here. I'll give you like some other major key details, but they're going to be a little bit cryptic. But like they wouldn't be cryptic to Philsane. Like to Philsane, it's like, this is obvious. Like you should obviously get this. But like they'll probably seem a little bit cryptic. One of the things that she says is, let me find it. She says, whatever you do, be careful with the rod. And let me find it here. Don't take the crown out of the room. Use the scepter. The rod is the scepter, sorry. Be careful with the scepter. Don't take the crown out of the room if you use it. Use this. Do not touch the silver end of the scepter to the crown. Whatever you do, you will all die. Don't do it. And don't touch the gem. Everything else is probably written in like manic autistic and probably like makes perfect sense to Philsane, but not to anybody else.
Yeah. I feel like that is a perfect statement.
I'm trying to see, there's probably something else here. And I'll give you one more major clue here. And then there's one more, and she says there's one more secret door that you need to find. And I've used my magic to mark it when you get there. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So that's what you get out of Philsane. So one of your three is now gone.
Alright, Caber finishes the spell, and he looks up and he goes, wow, that spell is a lot more meaningful when you have an omnipotent wizard on the other side. A lot of news. There's a crown. We're not supposed to touch it, and if we do, it cannot leave the room it's in. Any of you guys know anything about the crown? Yeah, me either. Okay, and there's also a rod. We have to be careful with it. By no means should anyone touch the silver end, especially not to the crown specifically, because we'll all die. And there's also a secret door that Felsen has showed us, and I point to the door that's like right behind Katawan, and then right over there. Also, back that way is an illusion behind that sealed door, but there's also something else I saw on the floor. Might be useful, but we have to get through that gas. I don't know if we would even want to do it. But yeah, there was something shiny on the floor in there too.
And don't touch the gem, and she's also marked another secret door later.
Yep. Caber recites all that. So, my question is, Den, do you want to go down there? Because you can obviously hold your breath through the gas.
I would love to not do that.
Okay, well then let's move on. I didn't really get a good look at it anyway. It was something pretty though.
Wonder if this one is ignore my minions from times ago and float yourself to the ceiling.
What?
Oh, there was a riddle. You must not have been paying attention all the other times it came up. Yes, there's like kind of a riddle thing at the very beginning of this of this dungeon that I was able to read, which is filled with clues to the various traps. Which is currently displayed on Roll20.
I'm gonna go with probably not, because that skips over the line before that, because we haven't had that be a thing.
I don't think the skipping matters. It just we've
after our conversation
bypassed
last
some
week, I
things.
think
We've
it
gone
does.
in other directions.
I don't think we've skipped anything yet. So I think the worst is still ahead of us.
That would track.
Although this could be the time reach 0 right here, if that is in fact poisonous fog. In which case, because we go out there, let time reach 0, but we fall back to where we're at now
I think
to
that
not
makes
die.
sense.
So we should be coming up on it. If that makes you feel worse.
All right. What do y'all do?
All right, follow my Disney sing-along ball, everybody.
I follow along.
I think I should probably put that riddle to like a good strong hymn, so it's easier to remember. You know.
I think my ball reached a door.
All right.
Why can I
Bonking
not?
up against the door like a fish against
There
a
we go.
animal.
Yeah, I was trying to move them while they were 60 feet apart, and I was just like, nothing's moving now.
There is a door here. Checking to see if there's a...
Step back.
Ross, don't forget about me.
What'd you say, Katawan? Oh. Oh, yeah. Sorry, because you can't. That's right. Yes. Sorry. Okay, yes, there is a door. At the end of a long hallway, you see an ancient, kind of petrified wooden door, heavy wooden door.
Does anyone who has such abilities wish to check this for traps?
I have danger sense. I don't think it does. That just gives me advantage on dexterity saving effects that I can.
I seem to recall someone having like kind of an X-ray ring from several seconds ago. Is that still around?
I'm looking. I wanted to make sure that doesn't have like 1 use per day or something. As an action, I can do so for 1 solid minute. 30. It gives me a bunch of dimensions. Whenever you use this ring again before taking a long rest, you must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh boy.
That's a pretty big penalty for
Yeah.
looking through a door. So I would say, I'd rather not.
All right. I will check the door for traps myself.
Hang on.
Remember your sacrifice.
Kaber waves his finger, and as he does, a silhouette of the matching hand comes off as I cast Mage Hand, and I like to use Mage Hand to feel the door.
You can't feel, but you look around the door and you touch it, and nothing seems to happen. And Faith, you can also make an investigation check.
Hooray! That's one of my worst things. Awesome. Does a 2 tell me anything?
It's a door.
You guys,
It's definitely.
it's a door.
You're pretty sure it's a door.
I think
I'm like
I
think with the 2, you're not
86% sure that this
100%
is
confident.
not a wall.
Okay, Ardrith would like to make an investigation. Ardrith would like to check the door.
You want to check it for traps? How do you do that? You take out your sword and poke around, or you take out like a. What do you do to check?
I'm taking out my lance with a 12-foot reach.
The defender
Well,
itself.
that's a good idea. You should definitely
I
stab
am
the
getting
door.
the fuck back.
You take out defender. Everyone's poking at it using magic hands and stuff, and you step up and slam it with defender. It makes a loud noise, and you're pretty sure there's no traps on the door.
Okay, this isn't a stabbing door then.
Okay, Kriv would like to volunteer to open the door since I do have advantage on existing sprung traps.
All right, Kriv, you open the door, nothing happens, and you can see a in the room on the other side. Just roll 20 is very slow, so it takes me a minute to get my notes.
Somebody gave me a torch last week. Can I use my breath weapon like that? Can't remember who gave me a torch.
You say what?
I thought I remembered somebody handing me a torch. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm-
I think so. I think, yeah. You were like, does no one have a torch? And then Den's like, I have torches.
Yeah, well, and if nobody has, for some reason, iron and flint, then I can flint and steel.
I mean, I have. Kaber snaps his fingers and like sparks come fly out of it like a Zippo.
Yeah, I'm also a blue dragon with lightning breath, so I can light it that way as well.
You
Like,
light a
Maybe
torch.
save that for the enemy and not in an enclosed space with your friends.
Kriv picks up his torch, and then the entire room fills with lightning, and it's a TPK. I'm so terribly sorry, guys.
I believe it.
Gotta be careful with that because you know Ross, and Ross will be like, "You said that in game." That's in character.
I feel like I've done enough actual stupid stuff in Ross's games that he'd give me the buy on that one.
So in this room, you see two vats, okay? Down here on the south part of the room, they're about 7 feet in diameter, about 4 feet deep. They're filled, 3 vats, sorry, and they're filled with murky liquid. All 3 vats are affixed to the floor, bolted in with metal. And let's see, you also see in here some large desks or tables and a large desk and chair. And there are preparation tools for something. And unguents covered in spider webs and long not used in linen wrappings. Dried herbs, unidentified things from nature, perhaps bones or parts of animals that have bugs crawling in and out of them. And then from here you see a corridor winding on the other side of the room. And the walls are lined with shelves, all sorts of old clay jars.
Man, I wish Theron was here. Never good at alchemy.
This feels like a wizard situation. Unfortunately, we sacrificed all of them.
Din, remind me, what color were the tiles as we walked in?
There was a few different colors. I want to say there was like a path of reddish that was comprised of the words, but it was a bit of a smorgasbord, kaleidoscope of color.
That's what I thought too. I couldn't
But the
remember.
line in the poem said the green tiles shall do, but it was about the path leading away from the doorway of mist.
Mm-mm.
I think it
Oh
was
well.
literally about the doorway of mist because when you poked the tiles, you did yellow, blue, and then the orange. So the yellow and blue was green, so that would make green tiles.
Are there any particular odors coming from these vats?
Sure. You can smell. This one has a very acrid smell to it, and when you take a look as you get close, you can see that it's clear. The fluid, the liquid, is clear, and at the bottom of the liquid is a half of a golden key, but half of one. And then this one has a grayish substance in it. And you can make a difficult perception check. On the top of the grayish substance floats the other half of that golden key. And
I would like to perceive the perceiving thing.
on this vat, it's just looks like dirty water. You can't see through it. Okay.
Got a 31 on the perception check.
Wow. Okay. You and in fact, it was very difficult. So you notice that the grayish substance that the key is floating on, you notice that it slightly moves a little bit in a very unliquid-like way.
Dan, no, come back here. Come back here. I need your help over here.
I don't know that you do. I think you're gonna have to sell this to me.
You can talk to things better than I can.
That's an interesting theory. I'm not sure it's true.
All right. Well,
What do you want me to negotiate with?
this vat, it looks to be alive to some manner.
Oh, all right. I'll walk back over and say, all right, Mr. Vat, or substance in the vat, or both of you if you're both alive. My name is Din. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. How do you do? And then I'd like to stare at Caber.
Okay. Now offer it something to trade and barter, because I mean we might want that.
What would a vat want in trade?
I don't know, but we can't just take it. If we take the thing and make it bad, obviously.
Okay, hold on. Do I still have a small bag of sand? I think I do. I can't
one.
Indiana Jones this.
I've got one. You can have it.
Is there any indication that the vat is actually conscious and receptive to the idea of a trade, or are they just bullshit?
Yeah, I'm checking here.
I would
Because
like to
if it's
replace the key with the bag of sand.
Are you sure? Because before you
No.
do that, we could trade for the key this lock I have, which would both be
Too late.
ironic and hilarious. Okay. Trade a lock for a key.
You don't get any response back from anything.
Okay. Can
Did
I
it react to him?
steal the key and replace it with a bag of sand?
Make a sleight of hand check.
I'd like to give him a bark inspiration on this,
Okay.
which is a D12.
Which is a what?
D12.
All right. Let's be bardically inspired. Hey, that's a big number.
What'd you get? Roger.
I got a total of 18.
18. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you were able to replace it with a bag of sand, and the bag of sand just floats there.
And then I run away.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now I'd like to use Mage Hand to retrieve the other half of the other key.
You do that, and now you have two halves of a key that are golden.
Yay.
What's in the other vat?
Muddy water.
You. All right. Who wants keys?
Does anyone know the mend cantrip?
Do you,
If
Tabor,
only we
do you
hadn't
do that?
sacrificed our wizards.
Yeah, I do that.
I know the.
They magically fuse together, and you now have like a golden arcane key.
I clap.
Who needs mending? And then he's gonna tuck it in his belt, real proud of it. Thanks, Den.
Ardrith wanted to do an Arcana check on that before you put it together, but it's a little late now.
Oh, well, here, you can still do it.
Can I do an Arcana check on this?
No. Instead, what is it that you're trying to do? What is your intention? What are you trying to do with the key?
Ardrith would like to try to detect if there's any magical properties to the key.
It is obviously magical.
Okay. Obviously magical.
We pulled it out of an ochre jelly in the Tomb of Horrors. I think magical safe.
I'm sure you meant something else, though. What do you want to know? You're trying to find out if there's some indication that it might be bad or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, if this is like some kind of a trap, or if there's something possessing this key.
Yeah, well, when you look at the key and you take a look at it, it's obviously very intricate and arcane. There's not any kind of energy field coming from it or anything like that. Caber doesn't seem to be negatively affected. It looks like everyone's able to handle it and carry it, and it doesn't seem to cause any problems.
Catalan, you alright? You've been hiding in the corner a while.
Ardrith offers
I can't move.
Oh no, are you paralyzed? Did you breathe some of that smoke? Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Ardrith offers to be the key holder.
Actually,
Master.
I'd prefer I or Den hold it, because we did retrieve it. If you want to take it, Your Honor, I'll give it to you, because obviously I don't really have a choice, but...
I think that's fair.
I'm just worried that something bad's gonna happen with this key,
Well,
and I would much rather it happen to me.
I honestly, I'd rather it happen to me, sire.
There's no reason to believe that we can't share in the misery that is definitely going to befall us. I don't think we have to get greedy, guys. Okay?
Yeah, there's plenty of bad to happen to each of one of us.
And Kriv pulls Ardrith.
Kriv pulls what?
Kriv just pulls Ardrith aside and gives him a little pep talk. Basically,
You're breaking
we're
up.
back in the space where King now.
Yeah, it's going about every other.
Your mic's not
3
picking up
words,
half what
yeah.
you're saying, man.
Oh shit. Okay. Can you?
Give us some blah blah blahs, Joel.
Can you hear me now? Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you
Yes.
you pull Ardrith aside, and Ardrith
Just give him a little. Yeah, just remind him that he's the king, and the two of us. We all took the play, but he's back.
Oh, it's transmitting
Nah, you're
about
cutting
every
out
couple
again.
words. Let's see.
You may need to just pull it closer to your mouth or something, man.
Din, you can make a perception check, and Ardrith, you notice that your friend Kriv, despite seeming to have rejuvenated after this magical meal that the Direhar prepared, seems to be unwell and doesn't look very good again. But that's nothing new. He's been sick ever since you went into the Undervale.
I got a 24
24.
on perception.
You notice a stench, like rotted wounds, and it's coming from Kriv. And so you noted earlier, has anybody got any kind of thing, whatever? And Kriv in particular was healed of the sickness that he had that was really obvious, and you can tell that he's sick again.
Can I discern what he is sick with?
It would be a extraordinarily difficult medicine check. I would be very surprised if you could do it, but you could try.
Big money, no whammies. I think every roll so far has been a 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I assume 6 doesn't get me anywhere.
It looks like he's just sick from whatever he had before, and they did mention that where they've been, so there might be something inexplicable about it that you don't know. But anyways,
Right.
when you come down here, you all see a 10-foot deep, empty pit that is completely filling this passageway about 35 feet across.
Quick question, Ross.
Yeah.
Ardrith. Or for Ardrith. Considering Ardrith's history with dragons and the fact that he's been wandering for 50 years with Kriv, Ardrith know exactly what this is? Considering his history with dragons and monsters and...
Well, the thing that you would know about Kriv is when you went into the Undervale, the Undervale is really toxic, and it has this sickness called scale rot, and it infected him and it's making him sick. The thing that's unusual is that the Direhar seem to perform some amazing healing, kind of like miracle, really, and put on this big meal, and then suddenly Kriv was fine again, and now he's sick again, and so it seems to have come back. What you would know about that, you don't know. That is something very much like high magic, high medicine type of stuff.
I was just talking about the scale rot portion
Although
of it.
it's persisted for years, so, who knows?
Would the knowledge of a cleric be of benefit?
Well, I don't think you noticed.
Okay.
Anyways, 10 foot deep. It's down at the bottom at the 10-foot point. It's full of sharp spikes and stuff. And then at the far end, about 35 feet across, there's no way that anybody could jump across. It would not be possible.
I ask if anyone has a rope.
Faith, and Caver just kind of like tugs at your wings.
Yeah, that's why I need a rope.
Oh,
I don't want to carry everybody across if I don't have to. I'm
Caver
hoping they
like
can climb across.
he opens up his satchel. You see him like pull out candles and like soaps and like a mirror and like a toothbrush and like a hairbrush that has like attached to it this like terribly knotted half burnt wig that he made forever ago that's got like roaches in it, and then he like keeps pulling out all this garbage until finally he's like,
one of them falls out, and it opens, and it's like, oh my god, you're such a loser. You're a hoarder. You just keep everything. Oh my god. What a freaking loser, everybody. And they're like, yeah.
To me,
Faith casually tucks the bag of holding farther behind her back.
Did you say something? Okay.
Nope.
Oh, rope, that's what it was. And finally he finds his rope and gets his rope out and puts all the crap back.
And then I'm going to fly one end of it across and see if I can, like, tie it off. And if not, I will hold it still with my mighty paladin strength.
Alright, so you fly across the pit and you tie it right here? Like to the wall or the floor or ceiling?
And if there's something to tie it to, otherwise I'll just hold on to it.
No problem.
And-
You find something to tie it to, and
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Do you keep flying or do you land here?
I just kind of float, I guess.
Okay. All right.
I'm concerned by what you said now. Hadn't given it any thought until you asked.
You've got a rope here. Let me see. Boop, boop,
I guess I'll
boop.
fly back and be like, okay, guys, the rope's tied at the other end.
So now you have.
You know what you
a
should do?
rope.
You should fly over us while we're climbing, just in case you can catch us.
I do that.
Or you can also like
plan.
hold our hands and help us across with your.
I will hold Caber's hand.
Yay!
It
I'll
takes a
pretend
really
I'm walking
long
while he
time.
walks on the rope.
So Caber, so you're holding hands and the rope and holding Faith. Is this what's happening?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you get over here and you drop down, And immediately when you drop down this entire eastern portion of the pit, you hear a pressure plate go, and then immediately it all like falls in to the spikes. And you can make a dexterity saving throw, and Faith can also make a strength saving throw to see if you can catch Caber.
I'm good at strength, and we have +4 on saves because of my aura.
Really?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to my modifier then. I have a +10 to my dex save, so
Jesus Christ!
I have good stats, and we are max level. And I got a nat 20.
All right.
That's my
Yeah.
third nat
Wow.
20 this session.
You it starts and you just immediately hop out of the way, just perfect Indiana Jones. No, actually, you describe it. How do you flourish yourself out of that?
I think what happens is the floor kind of gives way, and Caber instinctively does a like satyr style dance move where he kind of like river steps on the air to get back onto the solid ground behind him.
You all hear the faint glimmers of music, like from somewhere, as he glows and prances his way out of the trap.
He dances on air.
You can
What
probably
Golf
retie
claps.
it if you wanted to. And Caber, when you get there, it's solid ground, and it doesn't. So it would use the full 50 feet at that point. But
And I'll just go back and keep not letting people fall. That sounds
I
like
think
a good plan.
I think Caber would also like wrap it around his arm too, and so that all the weight isn't on the knot specifically. Like he's gonna try to share the load too.
all right, it takes some time, but everybody's able to make it across.
Earth screams across the pit. It was a trap, wasn't it?
It's all a trap.
No. It was a ruse.
It was a trap, Papaw.
Griff, don't get lost in the
Time
dark.
is over, old man.
I like how we're just leaving Kriv behind again. Like, yeah, fuck it.
Hey, no, it happened once.
Do we
Worked
happen
out
to see,
fine before.
we happen to see Felsane's marked door anywhere?
You don't. Which is interesting because this is the dead end.
Well, guys, we went the wrong way. Felsane left a secret door marked somewhere for us, and I don't see where it is.
Well,
Padawan starts checking the walls for doors.
You start checking the walls.
Yeah.
You do notice in the wall near you that some of the stones are in an odd placement.
Nice.
What do they look like?
Teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just some of them have a larger gap near where you're standing on the north wall.
What are we looking at?
Katawan said he was checking the walls.
Okay. Wow, Earth is way up here.
Caber is going to take this time while we're all standing in this dead end hallway. I'd like to look through the. If we're not in the Wild Bound Witchlight, so I don't remember the name. I think her name was like Moongrove. The playwrights that we have, or
Yeah,
I
you
have.
stole a bunch, yeah.
I'd like to look through them and see if there's any about Acidarax.
I think it's extremely unlikely, but you could roll a D100, and if you get like a 3% chance, it's very unlikely. Every single thing in the multiverse.
So a 1, a 2, or a 3?
Yeah. But I'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff if you get that.
I died. So close.
Oh man, that is actually close. Yeah, so yeah, it's obvious that there is some kind of difference in the wall there.
Hey guys, I think I found something over here.
I said a smack, a Sudaru, a Signified bite. Yeah, there's no Acidarax. Sorry, guys. Gabriel's gonna look around and notice that none of us are dwarves, none of us are architects whatsoever. None of us have any education on what this wall would tell us. I guess we're just gonna have to poke it like we did the last time.
I stab it with my sword.
I'd like to take Mage Hand and try to move some of the blocks around.
You can, using Mage Hand, you're able to feel around it. Nothing seems to activate when you do that. When you stab it with your sword, you're able to identify a gap where the sword goes in about a solid 4 or 5 inches before it hits stone. So it looks like there is something to this wall.
We could try the key.
When you put in the key in the gap, nothing happens.
When I pull out, are the blocks loose enough for me to pull out of?
You're cutting out again.
You try to pull it out from the wall.
Yes.
Okay. When you do that, it opens no problem, and it's just a heavy stone door. Seems to be a secret stone door. And you see a little hallway with a door on the other side.
Is it locked?
It is. And it's a heavy, like a wooden door. And no, if you check it, you're able to open it if you choose to do that.
All right, I would like to do so.
Okay. You open into this dark room on the other side. It's not lit, obviously. But it's filled with furniture and funerary offering, similar to the previous room. There are 4 rotting sofas and a couple of throne-like chairs, a jumble of stands and little tables that are dented and chipped and broken and things. There are some plain tapestries on the wall, on the east and the west walls. And it looks like this room had been looted in the past, but no one touched the tapestries. And then there are also some trunks.
Faith would like to inspect this tapestry.
The one on the east wall, okay. Let's see. How do you inspect it?
I mean, like, I say inspect, but like, what's on it? I just
Right.
because tapestries are usually a
You
depiction
look
of
at
an
it.
event.
You want to look at the tapestry on the east
Yeah.
wall. Okay, so it's they show scenes of undersea life and weed-grown rocks. It's a sort of like a weaving of like kelp and an undersea scene. Both of them show that. Yeah.
I would like to make my drift globe like go behind it and see if anything happens.
Probably it would pull you. So to get the drift globe behind the tapestry, you'll have to pull the tapestry up off the wall and travel against the wall.
Oh, so they're just like
and
flush
push
on
the-
it?
Yeah, they're flush on the wall. But
Oh,
you can
okay.
do that if you want.
Well, I mean, in that case, I'm just gonna like lift it and be like, "Are there any secret doors behind these?"
And then everybody can make a. Let's see.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you should feel like that.
Oh yeah, you're one to talk. Just
I'm
a
not gonna do
reminder:
all
if you're
this
within
stuff.
10 feet of me, you get a save or +4 on your save.
Can I be within 10 feet of him?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we
Since you
go.
I
can't-
don't think you're
You're
even.
really
in
not
the
even.
room yet,
Yeah,
dude.
you're not even in the room. You're
Safe.
fine.
All of a
Oh,
sudden, when you get into the room, wait, did you say you're within 10 feet of him, Katawan?
Yes,
I'm
he
not
could be,
even in
but
the
like he's
room.
not even in the
I'll move you
room.
in
So
there. No problem. There you go. All of a sudden, the room starts to like, who's dinging?
That's mine. I'm trying to fix it.
Oh, okay. So as soon as you get in the room, all of a sudden the floor just like slams up and down and like starts to shake violently. Everybody can make a dexterity saving throw.
And we have a +4. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I got a dirty 10.
17.
I got 15.
12.
Anybody that gets below a 10, let me know.
I got 17.
Like, I got a 10, but it's a nat 1 at the same time.
Nice.
Okay, hang on.
I got 15 with a nat 1, so...
Same boat.
Nat 20!
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you are able to like maintain your footing. And let's see here. And then the floor stops shaking.
So what?
Okay, so don't touch the tapestries.
Did the floor just get angry that we touched the wall?
I
Are you?
think so.
Are you jealous?
Because the tapestries.
I think the
Surface
floor and the wall are in a
solidarity.
relationship.
And oh yeah, and there's a door right here. I forgot about that.
Tabor's gonna bend down and pat the floor and be like, "It's okay, buddy. We'll put our feet on you."
Make a really difficult persuasion check.
Oh, all right. I didn't think that's actually gonna do anything. I gotta double check on my persuasion because it's gone up since last time I used
Let's
it.
be real, it's Ross. It may still not do anything.
Oh yeah, probably not. Well, he said really difficult, so unless I get like my 5th nat 20 for the game,
You're certain the floor accepts your apologies.
I got 28.
A 28. The giant mimic room does accept your apologies, and it like gently vibrates as you soothe it.
Mother of God.
Did he just say giant mimic?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Christ.
It's obvious
I
that
don't
this
know
place
if
is
he's
alive
fucking with
because
us or
it like you soothe it and it goes wobble, like it like purrs, and it's happy
The
that you
call
petted it.
came from the
Right.
house.
Tabor's gonna pull his hand up, like shocked, kind of look at it, and he's gonna like. Also
Everyone
say,
saw Caber do this.
He's gonna also say to the room, "Can we pass through?"
I mean, I feel like with a 28, they're friends now. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but 28 is pretty normal, and it's not like a giant room mimic is an everyday thing. So I'm gonna say that like there's no response yet.
May we please have access to the next location?
You could-
I gingerly stroke this door.
He may be ticklish there.
Or he may really like
No,
it.
I meant that in a very gross way.
Oh, gross,
I-
even worse.
I gotcha. I picked up on
I did too, actually. I was trying to ignore
it.
it.
She's
Look,
in
man,
denial about it.
6 months ago I seduced a drawbridge in a game. I think if this door can be friends with Caber, I can try to seduce this door open.
no seducing.
I was
There's
promised
not even
no
rooms.
romance.
Yes. Caber, you can make another persuasion check.
This is not what the phrase "get a room" means.
Oh. Don't think you're touching help.
You got a nat 1.
I did. I got 12, though. Don't make it sound so bad. I got a
Your
12.
time has come.
It's my second nat 1. I look, nat 20, nat 20, 19, nat 20, nat 1, nat 1.
It does not seem to respond.
I thought rolling digital dice would be more fair, but apparently...
You guys,
Caber's destined to roll on the edges of dice.
you're not gonna want to hear this, but I'm remembering the thing from the beginning, and I have a really terrible idea about how you get through this door.
Do you stab it?
I think we should stab it.
Oh, we could just let it
Arthur
dissolve
starts
us
waving
slowly.
his hands and screaming, "No, no, no, no!"
Now, I think you may have a point there. This may be the door we don't stab.
Ardrith, we are already in its stomach. What else can it do? Eat us again?
Oh, goodness.
Something sticky and slimy starts coming down from the ceiling and the walls near the tapestries.
Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go. Go.
Are we going back, or are we gonna stab the door?
I don't want to stay. Can we just try opening it?
Ardrith
Caber's
is
gonna reach.
I
Exiting
violently
the room.
stab the door as hard as I
Caber
can.
would like to try to open it before she stabs it. Can we make it opposed?
No,
But faster.
no. She said that she wanted to open it, so
Wait, we didn't try to open it yet?
She said she wanted to stab it. I mean, so what's your intention in stabbing it? Are you trying to open it?
I mean, there was something about stabbing a door in the poem thing.
Make a dexterity saving throw for Faith.
Alrighty. That would be a 26.
26. Okay, that does. Wait, that's not how it happened. I do an attack. I'm sorry. But Faith is still really tough, so let me see if it even works. It might work. Does a 28 hit?
Yeah.
A spear shoots out of the door. Turns out to be a false door. And there's a mechanism with a spear that shoots out of it and strikes into your armor for 8 points of damage.
That's racist. Chucking stuff at me. I'm gonna go cry now. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I just like
to say
casually walk around with a spear sticking out of my chest, like, oh guys, that door doesn't go nowhere.
Oh,
And
8 points is a graze.
Walk. Yeah, exactly. It's.
Just
But
a scratch.
gonna
Ardrith
walk out.
yanks the spear out of your.
Oh no, you all can't leave.
Oh.
That's not how mimics
Everybody was
work.
just walking out.
This
I'm just leaving.
Yeah, no.
We live here now.
Yeah, this thing, you see meat here. Where the
Okay,
door was.
so besides the contraption that was holding a gunpowder-powered spear, what's up with this door now?
I'm gonna see if it. So it was not actually a door, and you just see wall. It was a fake door, and when you stabbed it, it just burst open, and when you check, it's just like a wall with a mechanism with a spear shooting thing. It's just a false door trap.
No visible exits from here.
Also, everybody make another dexterity saving throw. That was another odd number.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone within 10 feet of me, don't forget your +4s.
Oh, I got 20.
I got an 11.
20,
You
11.
moved to the middle of the room, right?
Anyone who gets below a 10, let me know.
Basically, Catalan and Kriv are the only two that get a +4 from me right now.
Well, I already got a 20, so I guess I'm good.
Got
Okay.
a 17.
All right, so everybody passed. Okay, so the floor, like, again, just vibrates violently and slams up and down. You're able to hold on to something and not get thrown up into the air or thrown against some of the furniture.
I would like to attack the tapestry.
You're going to do what with the tapestry?
Attack it. I mean, it's part of a mimic and it's trying to digest me now.
fuck's
at this
sake.
point,
Which
so-
one? The one on the east
What
wall?
do you want me to do? Not fight? We're being digested. It's too late to leave.
If
Are we
Faith
in
kills
combat?
me, I'm gonna be so upset.
Dude, if we do nothing, we're gonna die anyway. Do you realize these dex saves are like gastric juice we're trying to dodge?
I
Right.
know.
You can, Faith can make another dexterity saving throw.
12.
12.
Apparently she can't.
Oh man, that was close. Okay, so you stab it, and then like acrid green digestive juices explode from the back of the tapestry, and the tapestry falls down to the floor, and you see more meat, and there's more of this green stuff that's just like seeping down from the ceiling and along the walls and starting to seep into the room, and you.
So,
see
does
that
anyone know how to kill a mimic from the inside? Because this is getting ridiculous.
The end of your weapon is like where it's magical. The ever bright Avenger of Helm. You know, like the green stuff singes off the end of the glowing part of the magic weapon. Your weapon's not harmed, but it's obvious that this stuff is acidic and harmful.
I'd like to try my lightning breath weapon.
Hardrith wants to inspect the couch.
Well,
What's going on in the ceiling?
What are you going to do with your breath weapon?
I'm just trying to get it. I guess if we hurt it enough, will it cough us up? Kriv doesn't really know how mimics work from the inside.
So, are you going? What are you doing with the breath weapon?
Well, let's let Ardrith. Well, I guess I already said it first. Didn't I?
Oh God.
I think just aiming at the wall. I mean, like, it's fleshy and it's acidic.
That wall? This one right here? With
Well,
the-
actually, he's gonna point his head back and shoot at the ceiling.
Ceiling, okay. You can roll your damage stuff because it can't go anywhere.
Oh, you must throw a DC 13 saving throw.
It's not going anywhere. You can just roll your damage, and then everybody can make a dexterity
2d6.
saving throw.
I like to stand next to Faith first.
9 damage.
Faith, can you move in the middle of the room for goodness sakes?
Get in
I
the
got
middle.
it.
If anybody
26.
doesn't get a 10, let me know.
I did not get a 10.
Are we all
you
rolling
see-
another dex?
Yeah, everybody. And if you don't get a 10, let me know. And then all of a sudden, as you see Crib just like put his jaw up in the air and lightning just like gout out of his mouth. and
Close.
just
I got
like
a 12.
electrocute the room, and you can actually see like the walls like kind of like wobble and waver a little bit, even though they're like, this is a room. It's not a cavern. It's got like wallpaper and stuff, but the room just like wobbles, and then you hear this, and what is it like? And you hear like a screaming noise from all around you. Who did not get a 10?
Me.
Okay.
You got a +4 though, Crib.
You shoot lightning from your mouth and then you swallow a bunch of acid. Dying like a turkey.
You fall prone, and you take, as you get slammed up against this thing and get knocked around, everybody else grabs a hold of something, and you take 27 damage.
Okay.
Jesus.
He shouldn't take any though, because he had a +4 to his dexterity save.
Oh, I did?
Because you're
Oh
near
yeah,
Faith.
he's within 10 feet of me.
Oh, then no, I didn't take any damage.
All right. Yeah, you're able to grab a hold of something and it doesn't
Nice.
damage you.
Thank you, sir.
Since
Okay.
so
Ardith would like to closely examine sofa.
The sofa.
Not gonna touch it.
Looking.
Looking for any kind of hinges or.
The sofa is just a sofa, and it's rotten. It's rotten.
The trunks in here, does either of them look like the key could fit in the lock of the trunks?
It does not look like that. It looks like they're not locked though.
I'll try to open them HN.
You're gonna
Couldn't
open.
possibly be mimics.
You're gonna try to open one of the.
inside another mimic? No way.
Is that how mimics work? They have like their babies inside of them?
That's
Mimics
how most things work.
that's
You
true,
use
that's true.
Mage Hand to open it, and all of a sudden, snakes explode out of it everywhere into the giant mimic room.
Damn it, Caper.
Hey, hi, darlings. How are you?
Can we just like leave and then try the candle? This was a terrible idea.
I mean, I would really like
I'll
for
show you
them.
what it looks like in here too. So this is the old school artwork. Actually, this is actually pretty descriptive. I should have popped that up first. And then now you had this come up.
Hey,
So
you
is it-
guys.
Yeah.
You know how Falsane only gets 2 more wishes?
Don't do that.
Okay, that was the question.
Yeah, no. So this
Don't
picture that you just showed us, the far wall looks like it's made of bricks,
And this is 20,
like,
and that
which looks
doesn't have anything.
different in texture to the other walls.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a wooden wall either side, and then like a wallpaper on the far side. Yeah, it's not
I'd
bricks.
like-
It's like a wallpaper.
Okay, I'd like to use Mage Hand, see if it's an illusion or like a false wall.
If you check the north wall, it is definitely like it feels like a wall, like it's like a wall.
Okay, and we've already checked this side of the tapestry. I'd like to check behind the other tapestry if there's anything behind it.
All right.
I'd like to propose that we move all of the furniture slightly in case there is a concealed butthole. Because if I know anything about the anatomy of creatures, it's that they tend to have those.
I was looking for a way out. I
so
don't
it
could be a
care if
cloaca.
it's an
You can-
anus or a nostril. There's got to be some way out of here.
You can do that, and as you say that, it like gently like wobbles, like as you realize like you're inside of this living creature, and then if like you suggest that, and everybody like kind of checks underneath the furniture and checks stuff, that's just furniture, and there's nothing underneath it of note. Caber, what do you use to check the west wall?
Mage hand.
All right, so do you just like feel along it, or do you grab it, or what do you do what do you do?
I mean, the west wall has a tapestry on it, right?
Yeah.
So I think Mage Hand is going behind it, and I'm like strictly trying to feel for any type of pressure plate or keyhole
Yeah.
or anything that would be an access
Can you
point.
feel through Mage Hand? I don't think that's right, is it? I don't think you can feel what you do with Mage Hand. It's just you're able to move 5 pounds telekinetically within.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is I'm just like trying to like manipulate the wall. But
Okay. You can sense, I will say that you get behind the tapestry. Unfortunately, your Mage Hand moves the tapestry up, so something's going to happen. But before that happens, as you move the Mage Hand against the wall, you can feel an indentation where the wall's different behind the tapestry. And all of a sudden, let's see, everybody can roll for initiative against the snakes. Actually, let's just do like, yeah. Let me know if anyone does not get higher than, let me know if anybody gets higher than an 8. Anybody.
I got a 19.
All right.
I
fine.
literally cannot. If I get a nat 1, I get an 8 on initiative.
Right. Okay. So,
Got a 16 initiative.
all right. So, everybody, the snakes attack. And then Din and Ardrith, you can make a dexterity saving throw. 16.
This
That's
dex
other stuff
is-
because I got near Faith because Faith didn't want to move.
And then
This dex saving is also a 16.
16. Okay. So you guys pass as well as all of a sudden the tapestry falls, and you can see a door here. And I'll actually show you this parting in the meat. What part or what orifice? Who knows? But there is like a parting.
I'm not
in the
picky.
Meat. Yeah, and then these snakes start to strike at you, and anybody can act in any way they want.
I would
Cool.
like
Earth-
to cast sleep on them.
You want to
No,
cast
would-
sleep on the snakes?
Yes.
All right, they're asleep.
Yay.
Krivnin takes his. He's going to take his great axe and swing down on this sleeping snake right here.
I think in this edition, if you do that, it will wake up.
It'll
Yeah.
wake up that.
I mean,
If it survives, I think the goal is to kill it.
yeah. It
Yeah,
might die.
I see no benefits to keeping the snakes that were released to kill us alive.
You want to try to attack it?
Yeah, I'm going to go into a rage first.
Okay. I'll say that you can strike first, of course.
All right.
I would have liked to have left before he strikes the snake as part of my turn.
22, and I hit for 15 plus 3 rage, so that's 18.
You kill the snake.
Sweet.
I would like to charge in between the remaining 2 snakes and cast Word of Radiance, which is a 19 Constitution save
Okay.
for the 2 sleeping snakes.
Why did I cast sleep if you guys are just gonna kill them anyway?
Alright, so all the snakes that did not roll higher than a 19 take 15 radiant damage.
All right. What about the ones that do, in case this last roll? Or at this pool. Boy, that's real slow. Oh, maybe. Oh no, I already rolled. Okay, so yeah, so they're both dead. You killed the snakes.
And then I just leave. I don't do anything with the snakes.
Yeah.
Ardrith crawls through the orifice.
Yeah, the room starts to violently shake as you all start to make your way out. Catawan,
Somebody's left behind.
as you're making it out, the room starts to shake, and you like kind of hop out of this orifice as it closes behind you, just like that.
And the orifice didn't look like.
A sphincter, a butthole.
I think we all know.
I'm gonna go with what Jake said. That actually sounds nice and elegant.
That's
Was what I said not heard?
No, I heard it.
It was ignored.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Just
And
wanted-
Heard and acknowledged are two
Ardrith-
different things,
if a
Joel.
tree falls in a
no,
forest,
yeah, I just wanted to
no
know
one
where I
wants to
stood with the
admit it.
group.
Did it make a sound?
You
Player
see,
makes a butthole joke and no one responds.
there's a hallway here. This one terminates in a door. There's actually two doors there, and then you can see a hallway to the north and to the south.
Oh, Ardrith walks up to Faith. He looks at Faith. Says, "So you know, I successfully seduced a dragon." He's just so proud about that.
This is him being seen now. This is what happens. When our minds start to fall apart in time, it happens even to the great heroes of our age. It happens.
Being said, I would like everyone to understand that when I cast a spell, there's only a certain number of times I can do that per day. I just feel that you guys have literally trampled the effects of my last spell with your weapons.
Actually, we cut through it and burned it with magic.
Alright.
I think
No
that
trampling.
maybe snakes can be a sword problem instead of a sorcery problem.
I do agree with that.
Maybe save the sorcery for like putting rooms to sleep. You know?
Yeah, but rooms are a little harder to put to sleep.
Why didn't
There's
we try that though? That
There's
would
a
have
lot
been.
more feet
Because
there.
digestion continues regardless of whether or not you're awake.
That's true too. Man, Dan, you're really smart. You kind of remind me of Theron.
I'm a font of wisdom.
No one
This whole
said
thing
that.
is no one listens to him. That's like his whole thing.
All right. Hang on. Before you before you leave, this place is all about tricks. Is there any like way that we've gone before that would be a trick last time that we know would definitely be a trick this time?
I don't think we even know where we are right now, Caber, to be quite honest.
We're in the Tomb of Horrors. I read a
Well,
whole.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure this is
No, like,
intersection.
where in the Tomb of Horrors?
We're in this
An
intersection.
intersection.
Yes, this
Yeah.
intersection.
I'm pretty sure the intersection is new to us, though. Like, we were never in an intersection where we walked up to one end of it and was like, "Is this the butthole of a mimic?"
It's a good point. Hey, intersection. How are you doing today?
And the madness begins. This is how everyone dies here.
Comes full circle as far as Caber's concerned. So, I would like to light a candle, which I would assume smells like rose water or some other faint fragrance. Because I don't have any torches, but I do have candles.
Okay.
And I'd like to start going down this way, as
That's
we have the
amazing.
drift globe scouting that way, and it looks like Haon's scouting to the south, so we're all just kind of separating.
All right.
I'm just covering the south.
Let me see
I
what
will
you find
defend
here.
the crossing.
Catawan goes with Caber, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a door here.
Marked by Felsane's magicalness.
No. And I will give you bright light for 5 feet. Handle.
Yay!
Yeah, that's what you see. You see a door.
I just turn back to you. There's a door over here. Which they can basically see from the intersection.
Right. Now I'll go up to Faith. Faith, you come up here. You also see a door.
I would like to check my door for traps.
All right. Make a. How do you check it for traps?
I kind of eyeball it and work my way from the outside in, so I'm checking for like holes that arrows are going to come out of, or mechanical sounds where a spear is going to get launched into my chest.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Alrighty, daddy. 13.
13. Looks good to you. It's a door.
I attempt to open the door. I don't know if I'm not hearing him or if he just got real quiet.
No, I got quiet. So I'll tell you what you see. The door falls into a pit. And then there's a corridor on the other side.
Can I see the door at the bottom of the pit?
I'm sorry that you don't have your updated faith token. I'm going to figure that out later. Can you see the door? Yes. The pit is not that deep.
No secret caves in this one?
Yeah, no secret caves.
Alright. This looks like one of those ones that I can go around.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Make a perception check. You're just looking down in this hole where the door fell, right?
Yes. I got a 7. Not doing great tonight.
Yeah, if you just look into it and without going down in there, you don't see anything.
Is it big enough to flap my wings?
No.
Okay, then I'm not going to bother going down there.
All right. All right, I'm going to pan the camera back to the south here. Hey, on, what are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep.
What are you looking for?
Who, me?
Yeah, you went down south, it looks like.
I'm just standing here in case something comes up this hallway.
Ah, you're guarding the hallway. Okay, no problem. Katawan, you're with Caber. I'll move you with Caber. Caber, so come on. You see a door. What do you guys do?
After you, Direheart. Alright, if you insist, Caber will try to open the door.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Oh no, sorry, I was silenced. I said Katawan knocks on the door with his hammer. Sorry, I had myself muted.
You knock and it echoes loudly in these ancient halls. Echoes, but nothing happens.
I try to open the door.
You open the door, and all of a sudden, the door opens. You see a corridor on the other side, and all of a sudden, this activates something underneath you, and you can both make a dexterity saving throw.
Where's Faith Mutator? $13.
16.
13 and
She's
16.
eating all the cheesy bread.
You guys fall down into this pit. And you both take, too bad, 7 points of damage.
Ow.
And it magically, it phased out of existence. The floor did, just went, and then like you fell. And then back here with Faith. What are you doing, Faith?
Can I get around that pit like we did before?
Like fly? You want to fly?
Well, I mean, like, because it doesn't look like it's wall to wall. We just kind of like snuck around him before.
Yeah, if you were really careful, you could probably do that.
I do that.
All right. Yeah, you go around it.
I'm
How
gonna
do you
call back.
disappear?
Guys, I found a pit. Where is everybody?
Oh, also, I probably dropped my candle when we fell, so I can't. It's probably out.
And you are in the dark in a pit.
Is
But
anyone out there?
Your voice
Faith is
echoes
like
down
way
the
up here
halls.
up north. What is?
Intersection team is doing a great job.
I'm confused as to where. Okay, I thought Faith was at the pit.
there
Yeah,
are.
Faith is in the north
green
pit.
square is the pit.
We're in a pit too over
I
here.
fell into the pit.
Has
Fell
anyone
into
checked the
the-
south
that's
door
what you-
yet?
There's probably another pit there.
I imagine there's a pit there.
Ross, you get an inspiration for that reference. A DM inspiration.
Ardrith does not. Ardrith wants to look at the south door, but not touch the south door.
You went down to the door. You looked at it. It looks like a door.
Is there anything odd about the door?
Well, it looks like the same. It looks. What are you laughing about, Jake?
Just the Catalan mouth breathing. It's like,
Oh, sorry.
or it's like he's just like
Sorry.
yawning into his mic, and I was like earlier
this-
his mic. He
It,
was
it
talking
happens.
now.
It happens in character, right? Like you're in the dark in this
Yeah.
pit.
We're just sitting,
What is even
we're just
happening?
sitting here in the, we're sitting here in the dark, and all I can hear is Catalan breathing. This is
It's because he's filming it.
This is well, it causes allergies. This place is awful.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are we doing?
The Blair
A door.
Necromancer project.
Is it a door? It looks like a door. It looks like all the other doors. We have checked it.
There's nothing odd about the door. Nothing strange.
So looking at it, it looks like so all of the doors here are wooden and petrified and ancient and very thick, and they look like and then they're hinged heavily with iron to the wall, and so they look identical to all the other doors. That's how it looks.
Kriv will go ahead and open up this one that he and Ardrith are looking at.
Back up! There's pits!
On the other side of the door.
Everybody seems to be falling into the pits when they open the door.
Oh, the pit's on their side of the door when they open it?
No, I said I have a pit, not I'm in a pit.
Yeah, I open the door and see what's on the other side.
All right, make a dexterity saving throw.
Got advantage on that.
Watch
21.
this be the one pit on
Nice.
the wrong side of the door.
So I think all this
God,
happens
let me
in character.
Do my
like-
dex throw.
No, it's
Is
just
that his
Kriv. Kriv's the one that
Oh,
opened
okay,
it.
it's just
yeah,
Kriv.
it's okay. But yeah, so Kriv's like, look, it's the pit's on the other side of the door. This is like we already seen this, and then you try to open the door, and all of a sudden, and like the door explodes, and a spear flies out through the hallway and almost hits Din, and flies down the hallway.
Oh gosh.
And
Sorry, Dan.
barely misses you, and you can see that this is a false door.
Kriv turns around to Ardrith and he says, hey, great job picking literally the only door that could kill us. Thanks, bud. Thanks, old friend.
That's not fair. You could easily fall into a pit and die.
I'm getting too old for this shit, Kriv.
In fact, isn't Kriv the one who almost fell in a pit and died and it was on fire?
Yeah, but it was water.
Yeah, so-
It was water at the time. That was Hayon actually when it was fire.
Oh, it was Hayon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen,
Uh,
Rick
there-
and Murtaugh are barely making it through here, so.
There are enough pits to go around, everyone. We can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not squabble over pits, guys.
So back to Faith. You Faith is beckoning you all up to where she is, but meanwhile, you also see a corridor on the other side of this pit, your side of the door.
Just
I mean-
a quick question, y'all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me breathing?
Not anymore.
No.
Not at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay. I
I
think
did
I
have.
missed that.
It wasn't bad, by the way. I think Jake's
Yeah,
just picking
sorry,
on it, but I didn't even hear it. Just to be I
Honestly,
did
it
not
was
hear
driving me nuts, but I was just being polite and not saying
I
anything.
was trying. I muted. I just
didn't
couldn't
hear.
help it. I was dying
I did
laughing.
have you. I was going through and I couldn't figure out who it was, so I was muting all of you one at a time.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Anyways,
But that doesn't say that's nothing about you. That's me and my sensory processing issues. So
Anyway, I think I fixed it.
all right. So 2 halls.
And I don't feel like I'm beckoning anybody. I feel like I'm probably just listening to the comedy routine going on right now with everybody else.
I think
It's
all
just-
that
it's just
happened in
Griff and
character
Ardrith
too. Everybody
bickering
was
like
like,
an old
"Who is
married couple."
breathing?"
All right. Can Heian
In
get
the
us out of
dark.
the pit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll reach down and try to lift up Caber to start with, I guess.
It takes some time. This is like Catawan's worst nightmare, actually.
Oh, wait, you guys
being,
were actually in your pit?
being in a pit and trying to
Not
right.
like this.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
like this.
But in time, you're able to make it out.
All right. Can we get through to the other doorway here?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you can do that.
Ardrith is
Okay.
going to
What
go,
do we see in the dark hallway in front of us?
You see a dark
Faith's
hallway in
still
front
up
of you.
here?
No, I came down to everybody else.
Okay.
And Joe, for whatever reason, you got super quiet. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better actually. Let's see. Okay,
Okay.
Caber, you're down there now. So,
Oh God.
Caber, as you walk down this dark hallway, you see a cavernous room on the other side. And I will describe it. Okay. As the cavern opens up, this is no longer like this kind of structure that you're in that was built, but rather an actual subterranean cavern. And there's this thick silver mist everywhere ahead of you. And it's shot through with delicate streamers of gold, partially blocking your view of the area that lies ahead. But nonetheless, in the mist, you can actually, let me see here. Yeah, no, I don't think you can see. I don't think you can see any further in the mist. There is a grotto further ahead, with a creature sitting on it. Looks like a woman.
So you said grotto?
Yeah, a grotto, sitting on the top of the mist, with a woman sitting there. What do you do?
Does this mist seem magical?
It seems obviously magical.
Can I cast a spell magic on it?
Absolutely. You cast a spell magic.
If it works, yes.
The mist dissipates.
So now we can see clearly.
Yep. And you see that it's a cavern with a grotto and a woman sitting on top of sitting in the center of it.
Oh gosh.
Lost my place. Okay, so Caber, you enter the room then. See? So the woman, she says, "Hello there.
Hi.
Is the tomb proving difficult so far?"
Are you a Acidarax?
Well, I'm not sure actually.
So you don't know who you are, or you don't know who a Acidarax is?
Possibly.
Okay. Good to know. Don't mind us. We're just gonna look around for a little bit.
If you say so.
He was like he just like rolls his eyes and points at her like she's a wacko.
As you get closer, you can see that there
Ardrith.
are 2 sacks sitting next to her near this tree that's gnarled up on this grove that's sitting in the center of the cave, and she's sitting on the tree.
Ardrith proceeds into the room.
All right.
It approaches the woman.
All right.
How did you come be in this cavern?
Oh yeah,
Can you hear me,
actually,
Ross?
yeah. No, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Roll 20 is very slow. Very slow. So, as you talk to her, Caber, and then you cast this, you cast the dispel magic, and the mist started to evaporate and stuff. Suddenly, she comes to, and she's like, Who are you? How long have I been here?"
I'm Ardrith, King of Perenval. I can't answer all your questions. I'm not sure how long you've been here. We're on a journey out. You can join us if you'd like.
I would like to inspect the ceiling because of what she said.
My name is Euphanessa. Something happened to me. This place, I've been here for a very long time. Wait. The sacks. Don't touch the sacks.
It's pretty good life advice.
Won't touch the sacks.
This is a trick.
And leave her sacks alone.
He put me here.
Ardrith holds his hand up and tells her we're not going to touch the sacks.
He put me here as a cruel joke.
Oh, well, euthanasia, I don't think it's a bad thing. That I mean, I think it's okay. We've all had these jokes been played on us multiple times. Hey, I think you'll be all right. You will come with us. You want to stay here. You do what you want.
She looks down at the sacks, and she thinks for a moment. She says, "No, you should take the sacks."
I thought you said not to touch them.
I know. It's best.
Okay. Since she's giving us contradicting information, can I, without physically touching the sacks with my hands, scoop them into my bag of holding?
Yes. And you do that, and all of a sudden she says, "Thank you," and she disappears.
Damn it.
And that's where we'll end tonight. Unless you want to see what's in the sacks first.
Yeah,
that would
Murder
require
spree
touching them.
continues.
Can I look into the sacks?
You find a ring inside of the sacks.
Okay.
The ring is of elven design. It has a gold thread, and it looks like the ring is like a feather that's bound around your finger.
Okay.
And you also find you find 30 gems worth a lot of gold each.
30 gems.
100 gold each.
Do any of these appear to be the gem that Felsing told us not to touch?
You would not know.
How would I not know?
She just said don't touch the gem.
Alright, nobody touch these gems.
And that's where we'll end tonight.